our fourth season of Parallel University Presents Role Model Series. In the past 3 seasons, we've hosted luminaries from all walks of life, from Shruti Hassan of cinema to Sam Pitroda of innovation, from Madhur Bajaj of corporate India to Shyamak Davar of dance, from a Grammy winner Falguni Shah to Bollywood legend Jackie Shroff, from Ankur Warikoo of Bollywood, of YouTube, to PT Usha of sports. And as we are commencing the fourth season, we could not be more proud to start with someone who exemplifies the power of pursuing one's passion. She's somebody who's carved out a niche for herself in an industry that is so competitive. When it comes to setting fashion trends and defining style in India, she's an absolute force to be reckoned with. With a degree from the prestigious Parsons School of Design in New York, she has built an unrivaled reputation for her work with the creme de la creme of Bollywood. Her clientele is a testament of her status as one of India's most influential fashion forecasters. I could go on and on, but with more than a decade in the industry, she has emerged as a true trailblazer in the fashion and styling industry and has redefined the concept of personal styling and successfully ventured into entrepreneurship with the Dhoom Dham company. Yeah. An entrepreneur, stylist, fashion consultant, influencer, and a role model to millions. Please join me as I welcome our first guest to season 4 of PU Presents I.I.M.U.N's Role Model Series, Tanya Ghavri. Thank you again, Tanya. I had to do this because everybody's... whenever we do these series, we send out the guest name to all the students, and then they write to us the questions that they want to ask the guest, and they've collated this introduction and all the questions. So very excited to get this started.
I'm looking forward to answering, because I always think that it's amazing, when young students want to do, when I was kind of growing up, like styling was not still such a huge industry that it is now. So now there's so much more opportunity, there's so much more information, there are so many more mentors available. So I'm very happy to answer all the questions today.
Because this series is role models, and like you said, we want to show students the journey of luminaries. So my first question would be, like you said, you opted for a field which does not have, at least when you started out, it was not something which had a lot of presence in India. And fashion styling, even today, is an emerging industry within this big bubble or big industry of Bollywood. From a fresh graduate to now an industry leader, can you talk about your initial experiences, or something that was like a pivotal point for you in your journey?
Yeah. So I was actually like any other kid or student in college, I was very confused about what I wanted to do. I was still figuring it out. I studied science at Jai Hind because actually I wanted to get into architecture, so that was a prerequisite to get into it. And then when I finished studying architecture, I was applying to a lot of universities internationally, and I got into Parsons, which was a huge deal at that time, but I didn't go to Parsons to study fashion design. I went to Parsons to study fundamentals in design, which had product design, 3D design, 2D design, all kinds of design related studying, for about a year. And while I was there, I kind of figured out that fashion was what I wanted to pursue, so I finished about a little more than a year in Parsons, and then I came back to India and I studied at SNDT. I did apparel manufacture and design at SNDT in Bombay. So I'm trained to be a designer, and and then basically from there, every opportunity that I got to do an internship, to work with a stylist, to work with a costume stylist, to work with the designer, like every opportunity that I was getting, I was, even if it was like a small internship, it was like, I remember I did like 2-3 internships at Vogue as well, in their supplement issues, wherein I was the intern and I was just researching for like 10-12 hours a day. Every opportunity that I got, I just took it. because I was like, you know what, I'm going to learn something out of it. And I know that I kind of bunked college a few days as well to work. I don't advise that, but I did do it at that point because I wanted to learn, you know, and I wanted to get the experience of studying as well and getting the on hand, like on field experience. So I would say that every opportunity that you get to learn, don't think of anything small or big, or you know, that, oh my god, is this good for me or not. Just do it because it's going to teach you something or the other. Yeah, and then once I finished doing all my internships and stuff, I got the chance to work on a movie called Aisha, with wherein I assisted Pernia Qureshi. And yeah, and then there was no looking back. I was, you know, on a movie set with Sonam Kapoor, and that's kind of a school of fashion in itself.
No, absolutely. Sonam Kapoor's legend, and you've styled her so many times.
Yeah.
And I love the part where you say that, you know, get all the experiences that you can. And this is what, you know, even at I.I.M.U.N, we keep telling, like, the entire workforce at I.I.M.U.N, if I could call them the workforce, is between 16 to 21 years.
Yeah.
And all of these people are bunking colleges and working here so that they can get these experiences. So, I mean, it's absolutely true. There's absolutely no alternate to getting those work experiences and real life experiences.
Exactly. I completely about that. Because I think that there's nothing like that teaches you the way on field working and getting those experiences teaches you. Yeah.
Absolutely. But Tanya, as people who are sitting on the other side of the screen and we are seeing these amazing outfits and everything on, you know, our favorite celebrities, you have designed and styled these outfits for the biggest people at the biggest events. Although we see only the finished products.
Yeah.
Could you give us some insights into how it is from being just a concept, an idea, to becoming a sketch, and then finally it on a mannequin and then on the red carpet? Like, if you
Basically,
could just walk us through it.
basically how it works is there are two ways to do this. One is that we custom make something for an event depending on what the event is, what the nature of the event is, when it is in the year, what colors are needed, etc., etc. Sometimes actors are very particular about what they want. Like with Janvi Kapoor, for example, we do a lot of custom because she's very clear that I want to wear red, or I want to wear black, or I want to wear metallic, and this is the style that I'm looking at. Why don't you come back to me with sketches? You know, I want to wear Indian, or I want to wear a gown, whatever it is, you know. But then there are lots of times that designers make a lot of ready to wear and couture collections, and you look at them on Instagram, and, you know, the actor maybe tells you, okay, I like this. Or it's always a collaborative process. Sometimes the actors like something and you try and source the piece, or you look at collections and stuff and you start blocking pieces that you like for certain actors. Like for Kareena Kapoor, for example, she will always tell me the event, and then I will look for a piece for her that works for the event. I will go through collections from various designers all over the world, block pieces, get them to send it. We do a fitting with the actor. We decide the hair, makeup, jewelry, decide the final look. And then, of course, we do these beautiful pictures before the event, which we post on Instagram and stuff for the designers. And the designers post it as well. And then, of course, the red carpet happens. So that's how it happens. These are all sample pieces that the designers send us for celebrities.
And then what happens of these custom pieces? Like,
if it's a custom piece, sometimes the designer likes to gift it to the celebrity if they've worn it, or sometimes they take it back. You know, the celebrity wears it and it goes back to the designer. So that's how it works. It depends on case to case, actually.
okay. No, because we only get to see the final product,
Yeah,
and we never know how it is.
process actually of how it happens. And then of course, like, but because this process is so lengthy, we have to work way in advance. Like, I know, say for example, I'm talking to Katrina about something that's going to happen in September from now, you know, because we need the time to be able to process it and put things in process, get sketches, get custom sketches, talk to designers. So everything that you already have your calendars like way in advance, not always, but sometimes for like major events, you know in advance. Like for example, for a can, you already know that can happens in May every year, so you start working on it from like December, Jan, so you have like 3-4 months until can happens in May. Because certain events, like for example Venice Film Festival happens at the end, like the second part of the year, you already know that, so you start working on it accordingly.
And Tanya, does it ever happen that your ideas, your what you are envisioning for this particular event, it conflicts with the idea of the person who's actually going to wear it? How
Of
do
course,
you resolve that?
like I said, it's a collaborative process. So me and the actor will always chat. We may have some disagreements. She may like something, I may not like something, but it is a collaborative process. So you need to talk about it. You need to be like, okay, this is what I feel. And I think after like a couple of years now that I've been around, like a lot of my actors are very trusting with my instincts of what I think will work and what colors and what styles. So most of the time, like it's a very smooth process, and it has been. But there are sometimes certain actors will know the nature of the event, or what they're going for, or what their body is at that point in time, etc., etc. So they will always be like, okay, this is what I feel, and I feel like this time I want to stick to that. So that also happens, and I'm very open to that. So yeah, I think it's a process that's a two-way street.
Have you ever had like a "I told you so" moment where you strongly advised an actor against some creative thing and then they still went ahead?
Of course it happens, but it happens both ways. Sometimes I put something on an actor, and I'm like, oh shit, she told me not to do that, and I kind of went with my instinct. And sometimes the other way as well. Like I tell the actor that no, I think you should do this, and then maybe they kind of fall short. And I think it happens both ways. And through a process of working with someone for many years, not everything you do will be 100%, but you learn along the way, and that's how relationships get better with actors and a stylist. That's how it happens. That's just the way of how things happen in life when two people work together.
No, absolutely. And I mean, it is so much of a trust that these actors place in you when they're going, for these events. And you've done such phenomenal work. You're always waiting to see what you come up with next. But Tanya, today everything, the trends keep changing so fast. And this industry itself is an ever evolving field. Do you feel the pressure of keeping up with the trends? I mean, you are somebody who's always been a trendsetter, but does it have an influence on you?
Of course, I know what the trends are. I follow the trends, and I love, seeing all the pieces that are the key pieces of the year, whether it's in clothing, accessories, shoes, bags, everything. Like we're always up to date with what's happening in fashion. But at the end of the day, like I always say that, things, what you wear and how you feel in it, how comfortable you are, will always show on your face. So you gotta wear your fashion. Like don't let the fashion wear you. You know what I mean? So I think that's really important, and I've kind of kept that in mind every time I style someone. They have to have something of them in the outfit that they wear. Where it has to be very personal to them. In whatever they end up wearing. So yeah, so I think keeping up with trends is great, but classics will always stay classics.
No, absolutely. And with all of this, especially our Indian paparazzi, Diet Sabya, and just generally the generation being constantly on phones, micro analyzing everything, for new people who are entering this industry, I'm sure it must be a little bit of cautious. Does it impact your decisions as well? Or
Honestly, it doesn't really impact my decision, but I love constructive criticism. So when I style a piece and I know very in my gut I've gone wrong or I've gone right, or if it goes online, sometimes I'll stand by it even if people don't like it, because I'm like, okay, I think it works, and it's a creative expression of what I feel works as a stylist. So even if some people don't like it, it's fine. It's just my expression. But most of the times I'm very instinctive, and if I see, any of the websites or any of the any media kind of criticizing something, I'll always kind of look at it objectively. Okay, maybe I've gone wrong somewhere. If so many people are saying there's something wrong with it, it's not working for that person, maybe it's wrong. And that's okay. I'm a creative person. There'll always be some ups and downs. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's all a part of the learning process, and you'll always be learning. I don't think there's anybody who gets it right every single time.
And especially in an industry where everything just keeps changing every few months. So
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Cut themselves some slack. Of course, you got to do your best and make sure that each one of your clients, celebrities, does. You just have to do justice to them 100%. But there will always be some room for error, because that's just human nature. Like sometimes, some things will not work and some things will work, and you got to learn, get up, learn, and get better.
absolutely, no, that's great, and that's especially a very good advice for the coming fashion stylists who want to become the next Tanyas.
Yeah,
Tanya, I also wanted to ask you about climate. It is today one of the major concerns in the world. We just celebrated World Environment Day as well, and at I.I.M.U.N, we always, every dialogue that we have, we always have climate as one of the biggest agendas that we are discussing. And fast fashion has been one of world's largest pollutants, with 1.92 million tons of textiles being generated as waste every year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on sustainable fashion? Although the term now has become a little more fluent, people are talking about it. How do you think Bollywood has coped up with it? And
I feel that Bollywood is trying its best to do what we can, like whether it's a Priyanka Chopra or a Kareena Kapoor or an Alia Bhatt, like you will have all of them endorse the fact that, it's totally cool to repeat clothes. That is the sustainable way of being. I say that in all my interviews. I think it's so important to buy key pieces in your wardrobe and circulate them. Circular fashion is so important. Ethical, circular fashion, slow fashion, like all of these terms, it's very important to start understanding, reading what these terms mean. Upcycling, recycling, pre-loved fashion, all these things are so important. Pre-loved fashion is getting so big in the world. Thrifting, which is basically picking up vintage pieces. Like it was a huge part of the first film that I styled, Aisha, and Tanya has always been a huge supporter of thrifting. Even Sonam wears a lot of vintage clothes. So I think whether it's a lot of celebrities are doing the best that they can to support the idea of sustainable fashion. And of course, we are slowly moving towards also working with and endorsing more eco-friendly brands, that are environmentally friendly. And, unfortunately, fast fashion is here, and it's very tough for it to, and it takes up honestly 20% of the chemical water pollution that happens in the world is thanks to the fast fashion. But the thing is that while there is the fast fashion, there is a lot of talk, and there is everything that we can do to help sustainable fashion get more stronger, to get people to be more aware of it. And the more people that talk about it, hopefully in good time, people will understand the importance and pay a little bit more money for sustainable fabrics, eco-friendly fabrics. And and we'll probably live in a much more cleaner, a more sustainable environment. Yeah.
I learned a few words. I just knew about sustainable fashion. I never knew about the circle.
Yeah.
What did you mention? I forgot. So yeah, yeah, I think that there's so much more that we can do, even as people who are not celebrities, like thrifting and all of this.
Yes.
It's so important.
Yes.
But talking about social issues, Tanya, we've recently have been following the whole British Vogue, the editor. Do you think the Indian fashion fashion industry is as diverse and inclusive as it can be, or do you see a scope?
You know, the Indian fashion global of people globally all over the world. For in India, it's more about mostly people that are from India, you know. So of course, that has always been a mix of like all the people that are from India, but they're mostly you know, most of them are Indian by origin. Yeah, but I think the global fashion industry is definitely seeing a lot of inclusivity, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I think in even in India, with more LGBTQ people coming out and the support that Bollywood has given them,
Yeah.
I think that is also inching towards a more inclusive
Oh,
fashion industry.
100%. That kind of inclusivity has always been there, you know. I think it's always been there actually. I feel like they are doing incredible work, and I don't think it has anything to do with gender, how creative you are. Creative people are creative people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it depends on what gender you are. You could be if you're creative, you know, you could be you know, any, if you know, any of them, and like, it doesn't matter, and you will always be celebrated. And that's what fashion is about. It's about celebrating creativity.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, I had to ask this question because today we have so many 1,200 of these, majority of them young students now choosing their career paths. You know, as students, when they see celebrities and icons walking the red carpet wearing those fancy design labels, they tend to get fascinated by the, you know, glitz and glamour of the fashion industry. What is your advice to them when they're choosing fashion as a career choice, especially when they are only looking at the pros, the glitz and glamour, and not everything that goes backstage?
I think it's very important to understand that it's a very competitive field. It's important to understand that you got to work really hard. It's long hours, it's competitive. You got to do a lot of research. You really have to be on top of it. You have to be very disciplined. And for young people that are coming in, you have to understand that all the glitz and the glamour that is there, that comes with styling celebrities, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of patience that goes behind the scenes, and it always takes that extra you know, unique quality that will take you from you know, one level to being super successful. You know, and that quality is mostly that the fact that you gotta work really hard, and you gotta have that je ne sais quoi, you know, they say, that you gotta have that quality of like something interesting, you know, something that you bring to the table. You got to work towards that, you know. So I think, yeah, I think it's very important to understand all these things before getting into it.
Absolutely. It's not as easy as it looks. It's not just walking the red carpet. There's months of efforts that go behind it. And it takes a village to put that red carpet look actually on the red carpet. So, right. We love, you know, at the end of this, I know we are inching towards the end of the session. We usually have some students, some, you know, faculty who actually from the fashion industry will come and speak to you. But before that, this is something that we borrowed from Karan, who's always been very sweet with the organization. A short rapid fire. We don't have a big hamper like he does, but if you couldn't judge. So we will give you a word and you tell us the first thing that comes to your mind. Fashion.
Being yourself.
Red carpet. Your favorite red carpet look.
Zendaya, Valentino.
India.
Culture.
Social media.
Fun.
Mental health.
Very, very important. Yeah, very, very important and very.
Comfort food.
Wow, chart.
Favorite vacation place.
Europe, like Paris. Yeah.
Youth.
Fun, but it fades.
Lovely. That was fun. So grateful that you could join in. It was so invaluable, and your guidance to the faculty and the students as well. It's been a phenomenal start to season 4.
Yeah,
I'm very, very grateful.
amazing. I'm very happy to do this, and best of luck and lots of love to everyone.